And it looks like it's recording. We're going. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Mike Collins. I'm going to be taking you on this roller coaster of a ride today. So we're going to have fun. If you have questions, you can either raise your hand or you can just spit out your questions and I'll be happy to try and answer them. I'm going to be moderated by Kimberly, who's going to keep me on track, I hope.
I'll try.
Good luck.
Yeah. Is that possible?
No, it's not. Okay, I am going to figure out where my layers went to. Okay. Pause share. Let's start share. There we go. Okay, I'm back up and running again. What I want to do is try and explain layers and all kinds of good stuff. So I have an example of a pizza here, and that's what a perfect example of layers. You have the crust, the sauce, the cheese, the pepperoni, and everything built up to it. Why did it just go back into... Okay, now I'm sharing again. No, why? Let's try this. I'll just minimize that. It's gone. Okay. Everybody can see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody sees, got a pizza up there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to clear that pizza out. That pizza's gone. This is the pizza we're going to be working with. And before we get started, what I want to show you on layers is a couple of things. Number one, on the right-hand side of my screen, we have the layers panel right here. You got the background, layer 2, layer 1. And then you have a drop-down menu on the right-hand side. The drop-down menu looks like a set of pancakes up there. Just click on that, go down to panel options.
Make it bigger.
The reason for doing that is we can change the thumbnail size. The way it comes default, Zoom meeting, go away. The default is teeny tiny layers where you can't hardly see them. I am old and blind, so I'm going to go back to panel options and make it big. That way I can see what's in there. You can see this is a little pepper right there. You can see everything in there. That's the biggest, most important thing for me to do right now is to be able to see. If you want, you can turn off all the layers except for one, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to turn off everything but the background layer. The background layer is actually my crust, so that's the background. To do that, you hold the Option or Alt key and click on the eyeball. And I've been told several times it's not an eyeball, it's an eye. So Option or Alt, click on the eye, and all the layers go away except the background layer. Don't worry, you don't have to go up and click each and every one to turn them back on. Just hold the Option or Alt key, click on the eye again, and they're all back again. So that makes it muy easy to deal with. Trick one. Trick two, I'm going to go to Crazyland.
You're back again.
For some reason, Zoom keeps popping up.
Click your your brush because you've got move now. Just click.
Well, I'm trying to get. I have Zoom showing up on my screen.
You're not the first person I had a problem with Photoshop demonstration and Zoom simultaneously, but
right now you've got
figured out the issue.
But right now you've got look at the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah, I have my move tool selected right now.
Right. So just click your brush tool, and then that will go away.
So every time I click on the move notch, Okay, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna go to layer 2. Layer 2, if I turn anything off, is my sauce. That's an ugly sauce, by the way. I had to pick it. Layer 2 is my sauce, so I'm gonna turn on my background and my sauce are the only two that are gonna be open. And what I wanna talk a little bit about is masking. You could take the eraser tool, E for eraser, and erase out your sauce. So all you have there is no sauce, just the crust. The problem with that is when I go 10 steps down the road, oh, I don't want to have that sauce missing there. You have to go back 10 steps or 50 steps, however many you've done, to fix it. So right now it's easy. I just hit Command or Control Z, which is the oops key, and voila, it's back to normal. To make a brain fart, what I'm going to do is add a layer mask to it. And basically, if I paint with black, it goes away. If I paint with white, it comes back. So white reveals, black conceals. You can do this all day long and not have a problem, because that layer, no matter what you do, I can paint that back in anytime I wanted to. You can do that with any of the layers by adding a layer mask on there. So that's what a layer mask does. The eraser tool will take it away, but you can't bring it back. Layer masking, you can bring it back. If I want to, I'll get to something else later. I'm going to go and add some cheese onto this. And what I did, I cut out a circle of cheese. So if I put a layer mask on there, I have to have that layer selected to put a layer mask on there. Take a brush, and I'm going to make it a hard edge brush just for fun. So I'll just go to my brushes, slide the hardness slider up to 100%, which means it's 100% hard now. And of course, Zoom pops up again. So what I can do is just kind of tweak the edges a little bit so that it doesn't look completely round there. And what I'm doing is just using the mask and painting out areas so it looks like shredded cheese, although it doesn't look like shredded cheese. It just looks like a rough wheel. Okay. If I think the cheese is too bright, I can fix it a couple of different ways. One is to go up to Image, Adjustments, and go to Curves. Move the curve thing out of the way. And nothing is happening.
You're on the mask.
Because I'm on the mask. Thank you, Sandra.
Done that.
Many times. We've all done that. Okay, you notice that she said I was on the mask. If you look at my layer mask right now where my pointer is, you'll see a box around it. That shows that that's what's highlighted. So that's what I'm working on right now. If I click on the cheese, which is right next door, you see the box goes around that. Now, that's what I'm on. So if I decide to do that again, let's go to Image, Adjustments, Curves, bring the darkness down a little bit, do it really bad so you can see it. You see it get really dark there? That's really cool, except for one thing, that's a permanent change. I don't want that permanent change. So I'm gonna hit my oops key, Command or Control Z to get rid of that. I'm gonna come down to the bottom down here, and you have a yin and yang symbol down there, which is adding an adjustment layer or creating a new fill or adjustment layer. The adjustment layer, we're going to adjust curves. And you see the curves panel pops up here. Drop it down. And everything darkened down. That's okay, I don't mind. Because what I'm going to do is make it a clipping mask. And what a clipping mask is, we're going super fast here, but a clipping mask, if you hold the Option or Alt key, you'll see that my layer on the right-hand side, when I hold down the Option or Alt key, it changes to like a down arrow there. What that does, come on. There we go. What that does is attach only to the cheese layer. So it creates a clip to the cheese layer, and that's what you have going on. So now if I make it even darker, just the cheese is going to get dark. Oh, I don't want it burned. So we'll just kind of bring it down a little bit. And you can see the difference when I click it on and off. And also with the adjustment layer, you can also go to the mask that's attached to it and paint it in as well. Or paint it out, I should say. Okay, let's go ahead and minimize properties there so you can see this. We're going to go to the pepperonis. And I'm going to get rid of layer 3 just for fun. Or layer 3 copy. And we have layer 3. We have 6 pepperonis there. I would like to have more pepperoni. Does everybody like more pepperoni on their pizza?
Yeah.
You like it, right? Pepperoni's good.
Sure.
They can't turn the sound off. It won't.
That's okay. I'm
Okay.
fine.
Okay. With the pepperoni, I like to cook it in the microwave till it's crisp like bacon and eat it before I put it on the pizza. Zoom, you're making me crazy. Okay, so let's say we're going to put 6 pepperoni on. No, we're going to double that and make it 12. The fastest way to do that is Command or Control J. Command or Control J will duplicate the layer. You can, if you want, do it the old-fashioned way. Come down here, drag it down to the new layer, and it copies the layer for you. Or if you do Command or Control J, Command J on the Mac, Control J on the PC, and it makes a copy for you. Hit the Move tool, which is V for Move. Let me clear that one out. There you go. V for Move. And I'll just drag that layer down. And now we have 12 pepperonis instead of 6. Ain't that cool? If you want to drag it straight down, what you can do is hold the Shift key, and it will go straight down without making any deviation. You can't, no matter what you do, if you're holding the Shift key, you can try to slide it sideways, it won't go anywhere. Okay, so now I have 12 pepperonis, but I have 2 different layers of pepperonis. I have layer 3 and layer 3 copy. Well, how about we just merge them into one layer? You can go to the drop-down menu on the right-hand side and merge down, which is the long way to do it. Or you can keyboard shortcut it with Command or Control E. Command or Control E merges it down one layer into the 12 pepperonis. One of the things to remember when you're working with layers, double click on it, name your layers so you can find them later on. cheese. I'm very bad about doing that. Sauce. Okay, so I've renamed my layers. I'm going to click on peppers. I hate peppers, by the way, but some people like them on their pizza. So we got 1 pepper, 2 pepper, 3 pepper, 4. And let's add 1 more. That's how it goes, right? 1 pepper, 2 pepper, 3 pepper, 4. One of the fun things you can do with the peppers is you can move them around so that they intersect, and then you can mask out the intersection so it looks like they're looping in between. That's something to play with when you're got some free time. What I'm going to do is I have 5 layers of peppers. So this is pepper 1, pepper 2, pepper 3, 4, and pepper 5. All my layers are peppered out now. Okay, from here, I'm going to have pepper 5 selected, and you can see that's pepper 5 right there. I'm going to hold the shift key. Actually, I'm going to hold the option or alt key, and you can. What the? Okay, how about if I hold the command or control key? We'll try that one. And you can select 1 layer at a time. Or if you want, layer 5 is selected, hold the shift key, and you can do all the layers at one time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these into a group. So I hit Command or Control G, and it made group 1. Or you can go to the drop-down menu over here, and Zoom starts up again. Okay, Zoom go away.
Hey, Michael, after you're done with the grouping, there's a question about your clipping mask and the cheese.
I will be happy to show that. You can go down to create clipping mask. It's much faster just to hit Command or Control G because you don't have to find it. So I just hit Command G, boom, it's a group. Type peppers. And I could have done that with the pepperoni as well, but I didn't. Okay, there's a question about clipping mask.
Yeah, it says for the clipping mask, when you did that, does it affect only the cheese image, or does it affect the masking layer, which is on the same layer as the cheese? So that when you did the adjustment, the curves adjustment, it's asking if it only affects the cheese, or does it also affect that mask on the same layer with the cheese?
It will affect the cheese itself, or what's in the on that layer. The mask, if you don't mask it all the way out and you only do like a 50% mask, which let me show with pepperoni. So I'm going to add a mask to my pepperoni, and I'm going to take this pepperoni right here, and I'm going to mask it out at like 50%. So I'll go to B for brush, opacity. I hit 5, which gives me 50% opacity in the upper area. You don't have to mess with the slider up there or typing in 50%. As long as you don't have it selected, you just hit the letter that you want. In fact, let's make it 30%. And we're going to mask it 30%. So it's most of the way gone. Now, if I add a adjustment layer with a clipping mask, make sure I'm on the pepperonis, go to curves, We're going to darken the pepperonis down. And you see it brings it back fairly well. But it doesn't affect what you have here, but that affects what you have up there. So let's clipping mask it. And you can see that this one's still 30%. However, I want to change it. I'm going to bring it way down. There we go. Nice crispy pepperoni. I love it. If I had some grease to spray on it, it'd be perfect. You'll notice that I can change it back again with, even after I've done stuff to it. So we can go down here. We can turn this on, turn this off, turn this on, turn this off, and then go back, click on the curves layer, curves adjustment, and I can adjust it again. That's the benefit of having it on an adjustment layer versus going up to image adjustments to curves. You can redo it over and over. It's almost like having technically it's like having a smart object, which we haven't got to yet.
Michael, there's also a question if you put shadows on your different items. From Sandra. That's
1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one down. We're almost there.
Okay.
But good question.
Skipping ahead.
Definitely. Okay, let's get rid of this by dragging it to the trash. Gone. Let's get rid of this. I can either drag the mask down to the trash, or I can fill it with white to clean it back out again. To fill it with white, all I have to do is hit Command Delete, because if you look at my primary colors right now, primary color is black, the background color is white. If I wanted to fill it with black, I could hit Option Delete or Option Backspace, and it filled it with black, which means everything is gone. If I wanted white, white is on the right side, so Command or Control, fill it, and it's back again. Okay, let's go ahead and get rid of it anyway, because I just make it easy. Goodbye.
So that last one was Command Delete to make it white?
Yeah.
Or just Command only? Command Delete.
Command Delete.
Make it white, okay.
Okay, Option or Alt Delete will give you the foreground color. Command or Control Delete will give you the background color.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
You can also use fill and fill it with black or white.
You can. You go up to Edit, Fill, and then do the same thing. I just do the keyboard shortcut because it's so much quicker for me. I like saving time. Okay, let's go to the pepperonis or the peppers. Let's do the peppers. They definitely look like they could use a bit of a drop shadow. So what we're going to do is go to Effects, FX, on the bottom of the Layers panel, which is right here. But if you have something else up like History or Actions, or the Zoom tool takes over again, everything disappears from the bottom down there. So you definitely have to have your Layers panel up, hit Effects, go to Drop Shadow, and come on, move so I can see where I'm at. You can see a bit of a drop shadow. Let's bring the opacity way up so you can see the drop shadow. You can see where the light is coming from. It's coming from the upper right-hand area, so up in this area, coming back down. You can change that if you want. Like, you'll notice on the pizza itself, let me close that out for a second so you can see. The pizza itself, you can see the shadow is on the upper left, so the light's coming from down below and going across towards the upper left. So let's go ahead. Drop shadow. Move it out of the way so you can see. And what you want to do is you want to try to match your drop shadow to the shadow on the pizza, including size, opacity, etc. And you can play with the distance, the spread, the size, and all kinds of stuff there. So let's say that's a little bit less. Less opacity. Distance right now is set at 8. I could down arrow to 5 and it looks fairly close. So now I want to do the same thing with the peppers. I'm sorry, the pepperonis. Pepperonis. I'm so confused. 2 ways to do this. One, go to pepperoni, effects, drop shadow, and that's way too big for them. Or you can go plan B, which is click on effects up here, FX, hit the Option or Alt key and drag it down to the pepperonis. And that copies it and puts it in place for you. Or number 3, if you got a whole bunch of layers to put it on, go to the drop-down menu. And it's not there. Why is it not there?
Should be copy.
It used to be copy and then paste, but it's not there. I wonder if they changed it in the last version and didn't bother telling me. That was rude.
Yeah, they do that all the time to me.
I know. Okay, so we'll just do the Option or Alt, drag it, boom. Okay, the drop shadow on the pepperonis, way too big. So double click on drop shadow. All you gotta do is just double click on it. Go for distance. I'm gonna take it down to 1. Opacity, I'm gonna bring up just a little bit. And you'll notice where it says use global light, right in this area, it's the same as up above. So every time you do it in this image, it's going to be the same unless you unclick global light, then you can change. Okay,
Michael, there's a question about keeping the blend mode on multiply, or
yeah, I just leave it on. I leave it on multiply. I don't even mess with the blend mode. You can. You can go to darken. If you change it out of the darken blend modes right here, such as like screen, it's going to turn it all kinds of funky. In fact, it makes it disappear.
I'm probably going to take a short break and then go down to the pasture and groom and clean the feet and give guys goodies.
Okay, that puts a little bit of more perspective in it, makes it easier to be believed. You can turn off your effects by clicking on the eye that says effects, or you can just click on the drop shadow. Does my layer panel disappear for you guys or just me?
It disappears for us too.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
Sure.
Now it's back. Okay. Zoom keeps jumping in and taking over on me. So, let me click on the top layer, which is the peppers group. Let's say you wanted to merge all of these layers into one layer on top of this. So everything where the eye is highlighted, you can see the highlighted, everything is highlighted right now. you can merge them all into one giant layer by hitting Command Shift Option or Control Alt Shift E. And what that did is added a layer of everything. So let me say that. I'll just save it as main layer. If I turn it on and off, nothing happens. But if I turn off the peppers and the pepperoni and the cheese and the sauce, turn that layer back on and it's got everything there. The problem is you've taken everything you've made all your adjustments to and made a visible copy of everything. So it's copied on top of everything. You can't change anything down below without that. That's not going to show any changes. If that makes sense. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, it's a flattening layer.
Basically, I'm flattening the image and putting the flattened image up on top.
Why would you do that?
There are times when I know I'm done dealing with the bottom stuff. And so I'll just flatten that out. I can turn all of these off now and start over on any corrections that I want to make up on top of everything.
We have someone in chat wants you to show how to do that again.
I'm sorry, I only show it once, so you're
Sorry, Laura. Tried.
okay.
Thanks, I didn't see that yet.
Okay, I'm back to where I was before. Okay, what I'm going to do is do it one more time for you. We're going to merge all basically. So I'm going to hit Shift Option Command or Shift Alt Control. My translations are running slow. And then hit the letter E at the same time. And that brings up the whole package there. That's what Jim DiVitale would say is the claw, because you have to use basically your whole hand to do that.
Yeah.
So it's called the claw. You'll hear some people refer to that as the claw. So when they say that, you understand. Shift, Alt, Control, or Shift, Option, Command, E. E like an elephant. Okay. Any other questions? Now is a good time to ask them. Any questions out there, folks? Anybody?
No.
There's one. Sandra Harris has a question for you.
Sandra Harris, you have a question.
Yes, I make actions for some of these things. Makes it easier.
Uh-huh. Actions is going to be in another program.
Okay.
Sorry.
Looking ahead again.
So Mike, I still don't understand. I saw what you did. I don't know why I would want to do this, merge all these layers. What advantage is there now?
Basically, I don't have to worry about any of these layers down below anymore. I could turn them all off if I wanted to. And then if I'm going to make any changes overall to this, I don't have to worry about those. So let's say I'm going to show something I'm not supposed to show today, but I'm going to show it anyway. I'm going to go to Nik Collection, because I turned off my menu thing, Color Efex Pro 4, and wait. Later. And I'm going to go to wait, and wait, and wait, and wait, and wait. Can you guys see Nik's Color Efex Pro
Yes.
on my screen?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. And you can see it's doing absolutely nothing.
Yes.
Michael, I can explain what I use that layer for, if you want.
Okay.
Sometimes like I'm editing a senior portrait, but maybe I'm creating separately a card, a composite, and I don't want to do a destructive flattening with all my changes, because what if I see that I made a mistake in one of my layer masks or something, but I still want a copy at the top that I can like drag from that file into another Photoshop file. But I want the one where it's all combined. So that's
Okay.
the use that I have for the flattened layer, but I don't do the destructive flattening. I know some people that edit do, and I'm afraid if I did that, then I'd realize a mistake I made and I couldn't go back to it.
You can. You just have to start over again.
Well,
And
you,
make a
you,
change.
you can just create a duplicate and then flatten that.
Yeah.
Okay, it appears as Color Effects 4 has locked up my computer,
Hmm.
but that's okay.
Oh my gosh, it's a big image of Michael.
We can fix that. Hang on. Give me a second. Got to get rid of that really quick.
Oh, scary.
So you can switch from speaker view to gallery view. See everybody like Brady Bunch.
Come on. You can do this. There we go. Okay. Any other questions out there?
Well, Sandra also asked if you could just go into Camera Raw to do the adjustments. I think instead of what you were going to do.
You can, but in this particular case, when I'm adding the curves to it, what I'm doing is also my text is going crazy right now. You can see the peppers and the pepperonis as they fit into the overall scene. So that's why I would do it here instead of Camera Raw. But you can do it in Camera Raw if you wanted to.
And
But
Suzanne asked if you could do a lesson on various ways to sharpen.
No. That's not one of my expertise areas. I can show you a couple ways, but I'm not a sharpening expert. Yeah, I guess I could. I could add it into another thing. We can do that. Anything else? Okay, what I want to do is thank everybody for participating today. It's been fun. What I want to do is have you either message me, text me, email me, and put in requests for the next program and what date and time would be good for everybody, so I can try and make it best for everyone. So I'd love to do it for you. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me anytime you like. Let me stop my recording right now.